Well, you join us with one of the monsters of world racing. Of course it is Aidan O'Brien, 13-time Breeders' Cup winner, not only the trainer of 13 Breeders' Cup winners, but the breeder of Breeders' Cup winners as well. Order of Australia, the mile winner last year, bred by Aiden. Order of Australia not here this time around, Aiden, but you've got a smallish but select team.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Matt. Obviously, it's changing all the time, but yeah, Order of Australia had a little setback, so he's not coming. So we have Mother Earth in the mile, so she's in good form and very well in Ascot, and no, looking forward to seeing her run.
Mother Earth, let's get on straight with her then. She for me has been the female equivalent of Poetic Flair, who has just run so many times, as you know, for the Bolger clan. But Mother Earth has done the same, and she's just been consistent and unlucky not to have won more. Of course, she got absolutely annihilated in the matron.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's been unlucky, and it's possible her last run could be her best run, and she was caught out the back off a very slow run race in Ascot and still finishing probably best of all. And I think her last 3 furlongs were faster than any other horse's time in the race, so that's a great sign. She's a tough, hardy, consistent filly that travels well and quickens well. She can be a little bit at the mercy of the pace sometimes. When you ride one patiently like that, you always want an even pace up front, and obviously sometimes if it's slow up front, it's very hard to come from where she comes from. So she hasn't got a bad draw. In an ideal world, maybe it's a little bit lower might have helped her, but she's still not bad. So she's in good form, Matt.
What's the key to keeping a horse like her going? We've seen you do it in the past with these kind of fillies, and they just keep on going. And, you know, is there something you do differently with her at home to a horse like the great St Mark's Basilica, which is, you know, being promoted well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, listen, they're just very good horses, great constitutions. The lads do a great job with them at home. They mind them great, and in the yards and riding them and doing everything with them, riding them work. And like it's a big team effort, as you know, and we're just very lucky to have like an unbelievable team of people, really.
Summing up her chance in the mile, what would you say?
I think she's well, Matt. She's going to be very she's going to be very competitive. She's very well. Like I said, she travels, she jumps, travels, relaxes, and does quicken. So if she had a little bit of luck, and Ryan was able to get some kind of a respectable position on her, listen, it's very possible anything could happen with her.
Let's talk about the Breeders' Cup turf. It's a complicated race. You've got 2 in at the moment, Japan and Broome. You've got Bolshoi Ballet lurking as first reserve, one-time Derby favourite and seen as the great hope in some ways for Coolmore. How likely do you think, come off time, Aiden, that Bolshoi Ballet will be in this race?
It's very possible. He's first reserve, Matt, and obviously one of ours or something else would have to come out to get into the race. We all obviously have Japan and Broome in there, so obviously if Broome was to come out, he would get in. But it's 4 more days to go, and they will be assessed very carefully there by John and everyone else every single day. That would let him in, but something else might come out as well, so then Broome mightn't have to come out. So obviously we had originally planned on running Love in the turf, but we didn't realise the other 4 were all Group 1 winners, so we thought they'd be very safe to get in. But obviously the way it fell, none of them got in, so she had to come out and she had to go to the fillies and mares, which she was obviously eligible for. No, it's going to be interesting the next few days. Like yeah,
it is, Aiden.
Yeah, Lupi Fernandez and Order of Australia were only 2nd and 3rd reserve here last year, a couple of days before, and both ended up getting in. So no, it'll be interesting, Matt.
Let's have a quick word about Japan. I've had so many conversations with Ryan Moore in the past, particularly. You know, obviously he won the John Mont International, so he's not a mug. But so many conversations that he has skipped other big race rides to ride and stay with Japan. He slightly hasn't done clearly what Ryan feels he's capable of, but he's still a Group 1 winner.
Yeah, no, like you said, he's a Juddmonte winner, Matt, and like you know how hard it is to win a Juddmonte. His last 2 runs have been way better than anybody thinks. Ryan rode him as 2nd last, and he just got chopped coming off the bend, and obviously cost him the race. And but came home very well, and Ryan was very happy with him. And then Wayne came to ride him the last day, and he got chopped twice, just coming out of the back straight and then in the straight again. So that, like, no chance. In those big races, you get chopped once, it's very hard to do it, and usually doesn't happen. But he got chopped twice the last day, so at least there's a good legitimate excuse for his run the last day as well.
Let's just say Bolshoi gets in. Obviously, one-time Derby favourite. He looked incredible early season. Slightly didn't go the way you'd wanted. Went to America, did well out there, became a Grade 1 winner. If he was in, what hopes would you have for him?
He's very well, Matt. He's been a little bit unlucky as well. He won a Group 1 out here, and he just got hung up in a very strong pace in Saratoga. He's well used to American racing now. He's hardy. He's a good traveller. He seems to brake well enough, and he's missed his last few targets, which might not be a disadvantage. So he is fresh and he's well and he's moving well. Emmett was very happy with him this morning. So no, he's a good profile for it. He's, like I say, he's a big rangy horse, but he's raced over 9 furlongs out here as well, you know, so that should left him good and sharp.
You know this game, Aidan. A lot of journalists will come up to you and they'll pussyfoot around. Yeah. They won't ask you straight. They won't tell you how the people are thinking. Yeah. But you like that, don't you?
No, I know.
You like straight questions.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
Matt.
Shall I ask you a straight question?
100%, and it's only a pleasure to answer if I can, and that's the only way it should be always.
Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty about love.
Yeah.
Now, I'm in love with love. I am. 3-year-old, monster. Looked like a brilliant horse. 4-year-old, not quite so good, but of course came back well at Ascot. The people, Aidan, the people will say she beat nothing as a 3-year-old. She just won bad races really easily, and now we're seeing what she's really like. Then people like me will say, no. Love is something special. The floor is open to you.
Yeah, no, listen, Matt, obviously I'm not trying to defend anything and just calling it the way we see it. Obviously she was a Guineas winner and then she was an Oaks winner, which are two very hard things to do with any 3-year-old filly, and she did both of them very impressively. And then she went and won in York. Then that was, I think she only ran 3 times last year, I think.
Well, after York, she was favourite for the Arc.
Yes.
Shorter price than an Able.
Yeah, and we were never going to run her on bad ground in the Arc last year. She's a beautiful mover and she was a 3-year-old filly. And obviously then she didn't appear out until, like, her first run this year was in the Prince of Wales. And like for her to win a Prince of Wales first time out, like, is a very difficult thing.
And beating a Breeders' Cup winner in Ordera.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so like that form is there. What you say, and it was her first run, and we always thought she was going to improve from it. Her next couple of runs then. Probably because it was a big effort for her to do that. Her next couple of runs were a little bit below par, but we would say maybe because the pace was a little bit messy and she likes an even pace, and we would feel that maybe the pace didn't suit her in the next couple of races. And then after that, she had a prep for the Arc. She went back to the Curragh over 1.25 miles. We were very happy with the run. It was a prep for the Arc, so it was being treated that way. And I think she gave 9 or 10 pounds to Paddy's filly, which was a very highly rated filly. So she nearly ran up to her top ratings to be second in the race at the Curragh. I think it was the Royal Whip or something. You know, so that was a serious run. And then that was her last run. She's fresh, she's well. She will like the fast ground. She will, like, the track won't be a problem. 1.3 miles shouldn't be a problem to her. Listen, she's she's a lovely filly, really, and listen, delighted to have her here. And she hasn't had too many miles on her, and she has had no hardship in bad ground, which is great for her.
Is she one that can be helped by Lasix? Is she one that you think will appreciate what you can do stateside and you can't do back home?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any drugs at all this year, Matt. I think it's
nothing.
I think not.
Okay.
So listen, like we would be always of that opinion. That's the way it should be. But obviously, when you go run in foreign countries, you do what is like when you go.
You've got to take every advantage you can.
Listen, you'll only be left behind if you kind of have to do what everyone says everyone else is doing and what the locals are doing, because it's too big a disadvantage. But we would be always for a no drug policy, always. But like that doesn't say. Like some horses it can help, some horses maybe not. But she's always been very clear. She doesn't need LASIK. I don't think she's moving very well. And listen, no, we're very happy about all that, really.
So you're in my camp. You're a believer.
I know. I'm very happy with her, Matt. Yeah, I'm looking forward to her.
And St Mark's Basilica, you got the coat, a monster this year, and I bet you can't wait to train little St Mark's. Yeah, no, we were very lucky to find them. Like, obviously we found them early last year, but we just didn't do it until the Jew horse, and obviously his 5 runs this year, or 4 runs this year, have been incredible. Like to win a Guineas, French Derby, and then I suppose what he did in Sandown was incredible. Like he made very little of 2 very good older horses, and then he really probably shouldn't have raced after that. He had a setback going to York, and for him to come back and do what he did in Leopardstown was incredible, really, after what happened to him just before the judgment. An incredible horse. Listen, we're just very lucky to have him, really. Anything else you'd like to tell us, Aiden?
No.
Anything you'd like to get off your chest?
No, not unless there's anything you want to ask me, Matt, and it's a pleasure if you do want to.
Well, I wouldn't mind that coat, to be honest.
Now listen, I'll give it to you after, so
Okay.
thank you.